Our sponsors: the Finkley Experience, an educational consulting firm that specializes in first-generation education, and which prepares high school students for college. For more information, visit their website at thefinkleyexperience.com. Father to Father Incorporated, a nonprofit organization that strengthens families through father engagement, with a goal to help men in our communities to be great dads. For more information, visit their website, fathertofatherinc.org. ABLAZE Entertainment. The goal of ABLAZE is to take emerging artists and develop them to the next level of their career. For more information, visit their website at ablazeentertainment.net. Thank you. It's finally here. My brand new single, Biggest Dream Come True. Now available on all streaming platforms.
Hi, I'm Eric Hansen, actor, producer, and director, and you are watching The Michael Finkley Show.
On the next Michael Finkley, professional dancer and author Abraham Sannoh is with us. He talks about his time in dance and how he gives back, and his book, The Inner Light. Next Finkley.
There's a new familiar face this time. Say hello to the new daytime. See it everywhere you go. New and the greatest show. It's no other than the Michael Finkley Show. There is no other. He's like no other. I'm so glad that someone resonates with you. Come celebrate with me. Let's do it tonight.
Everybody, welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. Now, y'all, my next guest, he is a professional dancer, an entrepreneur, and y'all, he helps people become their best selves by these amazing ministries that he's a part of. But he's going to talk about that more. He is Abraham Sannoh. How are you?
I'm blessed, man. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure, connecting with you on IG and having very authentic communication with you. I mean, your energy was something that really drove me to want to even connect with you and be on your show. So it is a blessing, and I'm truly grateful to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate those words. Sometimes you need to hear them, right? Sometimes you just need to hear them at times. So I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And what you do within your profession is amazing. As you said before, we connected on IG, and I tell you, I love people that are breaking the norm. You're breaking the norm. You dance. I found a Black male that is a professional dancer. It is amazing. How did this begin for you?
That's a good question. And when you speak like you just did, you sound like me when I first started. But when I started dancing, I was 10 years old. And I didn't ever think in my wildest dream that I will be a professional dancer. I did it as a way of life. I did it as my escape. And dancing was my happy place. It makes me feel complete in who I am and who I wanted to be. In the essence of not being able to communicate in words, I could do so using body language. So when I moved to the state in 2003, the opportunity presented itself in 2007 to become a professional ballroom dancer. And from Africa, during these times, I was really, being an African, right? I was really concerned, first of all, how I was going to make it in the world of ballroom dancing. And most people, my family in particular, were concerned that going down this rabbit hole that leads to nowhere, I was out to fail. But I was the only person who honestly and truly believed in myself and what I wanted to accomplish. There was not a shred of doubt in my mind that I was going to make it to become a professional ballroom dancer, but also beyond that, and to open a studio. So for me, at age 20 and 21 as a professional dancing, I already knew I was going to have a studio, and I started my studio at age 25. But the blessing really came in the form of watching another Haitian Latin professional dancer, and I must have to say his name, Emmanuel Pierre Antoine. During those times I was going through the process, people questioning my every move. What was I doing with my life? And I was doing my research to see how successful Black people, especially African or African-American or from other Caribbeans, have made it through the world of ballroom dancing. And it was difficult to find. And once I saw the first Black Haitian to actually do it at the highest level, that was my confirmation that I could do this myself, And oftentimes we try to seek for things where we can't reach them. For me, this gentleman was right in New York, and I'm in DC. So I made it my life's goal to connect with Emmanuel, to make him my brother and my friend. And we've been friends ever since 2009. He's been my personal mentor, my coach. And ironically now, he calls me for business advice. So he propelled me, developed me into this individual that I am today. Now he calls me for business advice, and we share good knowledge with each other. And it's something that I'm truly grateful for, the network, the support of people that I had in my life. And it was great. And once I saw Emmanuel do it, I knew that I could. And it didn't matter what no one else was saying that I couldn't. It couldn't be done. I knew that it was possible for me, and I was going to do it at the highest level. And I'm grateful to have done that. So thanks for asking.
I'm so glad that you took a chance on yourself. Even when the odds were against you, you didn't see many people that looked like you doing what you wanted to do for your ladder, but you said, you know what, I'm going to do it. And it is continuously working for you. Yes. How do you keep yourself motivated? How did you keep yourself motivated through this process? Because I know that sometimes when we're trying different things, we want to quit. And sometimes we do for a period of time, but we get back up because we have a goal in mind. How did you keep yourself motivated?
It's quite simple, man. For me, it is so simple because, as I already mentioned, I'm from Africa. I was born in the darkest of places, and it doesn't get more impoverished than where I come from in Liberia. And going from where I come from, it doesn't take much to motivate me for where I'm going. I come from nothing, no support system, no family. I didn't grow up in a two-family home, no mom, no dad. They were around, but again, I grew up what people might call a foster home with so many different family members, but it was the ability to adapt to every family unit that I was with that afforded me the opportunity to be sitting here today. For instance, when I was living with my grandmother until age 6, I did things her way. When I was living with my father up until age 12 and 13, I was doing things his way, and now a little bit of my way. When I moved and I lived with my aunts and uncles, beyond that point, I did things their way with respect and commitment to my own desire to be fulfilled. So staying motivated was through the act of service. I knew if I did something right today, I will have a good reward tomorrow. So being in the dance industry was very simple. It was easy for people to look at me and say, we told you so. And for one, I take the stand for no one to ever say to me, I told you you couldn't do it. Because I've already trusted in myself that I could do it, and I can do it, and I will do it. So that's a motivation enough for me to keep going. But overall, I have to keep in mind the people that I serve. The people that I serve looked up to me. There is a level of accountability. There is a level of trust that they have placed in me so that they can be fulfilled in their own rights. But I can only do this if I'm fulfilled within myself. So instead of extending gratitude, instead of extending on the outside, I always look within myself. If I sat here with you, Michael, why is this so important? What's the benefit for me, and how can it benefit everyone else involved? those are the parameters for which the perspective for which I live my life. And I do it with authenticity, with no, what's the word? How can I best say this? With no disrespect to anyone, but by truly honoring my own self-respect and love first and foremost. Because when I do this, I can love you just as much. I can be with you just as much. And anything and everything that we do together will be authentic, because that is who I am.
I love this. I love this. Now, I'm definitely listening with both ears because I'm learning something as well. And, I learned this lesson a while ago, just as you did. You have to fulfill self first, right, in order to be effective and help others. So if you didn't have that drive for self, you wouldn't have helped and taught and counseled and guide so many other individuals out there that were looking for that talent and that gift that you have on the inside. So I want to encourage you and thank you for listening to yourself and take care of you first in order to feel the bigger picture, right? The
Yes,
bigger
sir.
picture of helping others. So thank you for listening to you, because sometimes we don't.
Oh, this is true.
Yeah.
This is absolutely true. And this is where we go into self-doubt, self-criticism, we become our own worst enemies.
Yeah.
I'm grateful and I'm blessed. Now, there was a time where, I will be honest, I was my own worst enemies, right? There were times where I wouldn't speak too much. There were times where this is why I actually danced, because speaking for me was so difficult. English was not my first language. I didn't start my education until I was 11 years old in the first grade. So for me, all of these odd were what you might call an odd, I consider an opportunity, right? So with all things considered, I have had to learn my way to the success that I now have, as I continue to learn my way to the success that I aspire to be. Because every level is a new beginning for me. And every day is an opportunity to do better for the future that I desire. But it is only possible if the moment is lived well, if it's completely lived. And for me, this is very, very important to know, especially for the people who follow me, who now know I have a book out there, that is selling organically. I now have clients that I coach in life and in business. The dance studio is amazing. It's doing amazingly well. And my goal is just continuing to grow in the ways of entrepreneurship, and hopefully give back to as many people as I possibly can who have the same gift and talent as you mentioned that I have within myself, but having the fortitude to listen to their own intuition and follow their hearts. I never wanted to do anything that didn't fulfill me. If I did it to please you, I am miserable. But if it fulfills me, you might not agree with it in the beginning. At the end of the day, we will be good friends.
Oh, wow. You have beat so many odds. I love your story of how you just overcame, and how in so many ways you're still overcoming as well, because as long as we live and breathe, we're going to go through different things in life. We're going to go through trials and tribulations. But your story of if they can do it, I can do it. Oh, I've come from this to where I am today. You're the definition of that. And it's just so inspiring. You mentioned your studio. How was that when you received your first client to say to you, I want you to teach me how to do this type of dance? What was that experience like?
It's an experience that I never forget. And when I first got my first student, and this was when I was still working for a franchise, she came into the studio and she dropped $50,000. At this time, I was making $19,000 a year. So imagine I'm sitting there, and it's my first ever client who walks in the studio. And again, if I hadn't been ready for this opportunity, I would have missed it, because I had been in the studio for 2 years straight, training, learning, but I was never really given the opportunity to teach. The reason for that was my English was so terrible. My communication skill was so bad. I spoke fast. And every word that I said, you have to ask me like 5 times to restate. So management really didn't trust me one-on-one with a client or in a group setting with clients to teach. Well, it was an opportunity because I could use this time to educate myself, to learn from everyone that were ahead of me, so that I can hopefully one day become the master of everyone else that were ahead of me, right? So when the opportunity came one afternoon, this lady walks in, everyone seemed to be very occupied, and I was the only one available mostly to do this, right? And some of the people that were there didn't really want to teach. It was the lunch break. So I raised my hand. I said, I'll do it. It's my first lesson. What do I have to lose? And I went on that lesson so excited, Mike, so excited. And it was a joyous moment. And when that lady left, dropping $50,000 for dance lesson, money that I will not make in the next 3 years working at this place, that day I knew that I was in the right place, and there was nothing going to stop me from opening my studio. Right? And then 3 years later, I opened my studio at 25.
That's what I always say to myself too, especially in this type of industry that I stumbled into. It only takes one.
Yes.
It only takes one person to say yes. It only takes one person to believe in you. The first person, right? Well, it takes two. I'll say that. It takes two. The first person is you.
Yes, sir.
Right? The first person is you. And then the next person is just say, I'm going to take a chance on you. I'm going to give you an opportunity because I see something in you. Right? So that's what that person did for you. And you ran with it ever since. Within your style of dance, what type of dances, tell the Fink fan, what type of dances that you instruct, that you teach, and what's your favorite?
That used to be very hard, but I've narrowed them down. Okay. I am certified in 20 plus dances. Okay. So, but if you would ask me to go out every single night and do something, there is, in the Latin dances, I would prefer to dance the salsa. If I have to pick one, the salsa will be my choice of dance. But my favorite types of dance is the waltz. And the reason I like the waltz is personify everything we describe when we talk about dancing. It's elegance. It's very flowy. It has poise. It has grace. It has life. It breathes, it flows, it flies. Everything you talk about life, the waltz embodied this, and at an even tempo that is created within a box. So for me, when I'm dancing, the waltz is a dance that really keeps me flowing and moving like I would love to move through the flow of life, and that is my favorite dance. I wouldn't want to dance it every day, but it is my favorite dance.
Right. So is that the most popular one that you teach others?
No, right now the most popular ones that I'm teaching are the salsa, the bachata, and the American rhythm dances, which are cha-cha, the rumba, the swing, the mambo, the bolero. And then also I teach the waltz, the foxtrot, the tango, and the Viennese waltz. But these are not very popular right now since COVID. It's became less popular. And salsa and bachata became much more popular. So I had to adapt during COVID, right? So before COVID, my studio was known as a ballroom dance studio. But then what happened during COVID, most of our clients, they want to come into close contact. They didn't. But then the club community, the salsa and bachata people, they wanted to dance. So I did a complete 360 with my studio and push for this group. Why? I have a business to run. There's the demand for this, supply and demand. This is what's up now, and this is what I'm going for. So from that point on forward, my studio have become very, very popular for these two dances. And we still do the ballroom dances, but people look at my studio and I think, is the Salsa and Bachata studio. To this point, I'm grateful to say that we are really the #1 studio for those dances in the greater Washington, D.C. area.
That's good to know.
Yes, Crown Dance Studio. Don't miss it. If you're in the DC area, look up Crown Dance Studio.
Yes, Crown Dance Studio. Yes,
Yes,
yes. I love it. I love it. And it's amazing that during COVID as well, we all had to pivot, right? But you found that way to get back into what you love to do, and it's working for you. If you could go back, right, to that young male in Africa, the younger you, what would you tell them now?
What's going on, everybody? This is Jamar Langley from the great city of Andrews, South Carolina, and you may have seen me on season 23 of The Voice Top 15, baby, and you are watching the Michael Finkley Show.
Hey, did you get your merch yet? Your Michael Finkley merch. Visit our website, michaelfinkley.com, and click Finkley Store. You won't be disappointed, I'm telling you. That's good. Hello everybody, it's Finkley from the Finkley Experience. We're an educational consulting firm that specializes in first-generation education. So we assist students with their college and career endeavors. We train school administrators on the state of first-generation students. And also, we partner with colleges and universities to assist their first-generation population for easy transition from high school to college. So if you're looking for a presenter or a speaker that presents on these topics and so much more, visit our website at thefinkleyexperience.com and learn about all that we do. We're looking forward to working with you. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Father to Father.
The mission of Father to Father Charleston, South Carolina is to help fathers in the Low Country area of South Carolina to be a positive and consistent presence in their children's lives. Father to Father provides community-based programs and support groups for fathers free of charge. They also help fathers connect to other resources they need so they can meet their responsibilities and secure their parental rights. Father to Father offers job coaching and employment connections that benefit fathers. Father to Father is a resource for local organizations that want to provide family support and father-friendly services. If this program is a fit for you, visit our location in North Charleston, South Carolina, and meet our friendly staff here to help and assist. Or visit our website at fathertofatherinc.org. But not only is my new friend here a professional dancer, but he has added Arthur to his plethora of titles as well with the Inner Light. Tell us about it.
The Inner Light is a book. And as I said right here, it's about letting go of our fear and mastering the act of love. This book has a lot to do with me and my processing of life. And as I stated earlier, everything that I do for the people that I serve starts with me. How does it benefit me? I came from a family that knew no love or didn't know how to give love. Didn't know anything about wealth. Family that didn't know anything about, how to connect with one another. A place where I was an outsider. So going from one family to the other and living according to their ways, I was left in the world totally alone. But it wasn't what I wanted for myself. And through this, I learned a lot from everyone along my journey, to the point that when I was ready, I knew that I wanted a family. And for me, having peace with my nuclear family was so important. And my mother passed away when I was much younger, so I didn't really have her around. My grandmother passed away. And but not having family like I saw other friends did, it was really mind-blowing for me. So the inner light is a guide that teaches us how to forgive, how to love, how to persevere, how to be oneself and create the life that you want for yourself so that you can be, as the famous phrase we always hear, be the change you wish to see in others. The inner light not only talk about these things, it actually details on how to do these things, how I did these things. And I'm an example of someone who went from not having any relationship with his or her family to now having the best of relationship with his family. You know, and for me, the inner light is, again, a completion of that chapter of my life and the beginning of a new one. So everything that I'm doing from this point forward, I have the full support of my family, like I always wanted. You know, my stepmother, she is an amazing woman. She surprised me every single day, you know, with different things, with showing her love. My father is amazing. My stepbrothers and sisters, we are all now working to build unity within our own family. Because, Micah, for the work that I desire to do, I only believe to be authentic through the work that I will do if the work in my household is complete. And within my eternal household and within my surrounding household of my family, I would not be at peace. Serving the majority, knowing that my family is still at a place where we're still struggling for this one piece in our life. So for me, this was so important. The Inner Light is a book that teaches all of us how to do this, how to get the life that we want, how to get the family that we desire, how to be the individual and couples and groups that we wish to be. And I would highly recommend it on Amazon in hard copy, paperback, and you can download as well. It's a great read, have great feedback, great review from people who read the book, who knew me for many, many years, are surprised. Because you asked me previously what motivates me, some of them read a book that comes to me and now understand why I'm always so authentically me.
Thank you for sharing the world that, because sometimes you have to tell individuals who we are and as a person, right? And once you tell them, they know. They know. So definitely, fam, go purchase the book. Amazing read. I feel that definitely too, because I want to get my copy as well. I know that it truly makes you three-dimensional, because sometimes we see the individual, you're doing your thing, you're handling your business, but to truly know who you are as a person,
Yes.
a light bulb clicks on. It's like, okay, I see who I know him now. I know him.
Yes.
I definitely know him. So fantastic. Kudos to you. I love to ask this question of, you accomplish so much, right? You teach others about their businesses, you coach them, you're a dancer, professional dancer, you're an author. What is your next biggest dream?
From the time before I even became a dancer, before I even became a soccer player, I knew that I wanted to be someone that empowers and motivates people. I knew I wanted to be someone of an influence that spoke to the majority. That is through the way of public speaking, motivational speaking, as we call it these days. So I knew before all of this that I wanted to. And I knew where I was, though, not even having the bandwidth for the language to fully communicate with anyone. I needed the education necessary to prepare me for this. So the short answer is, my next goal is to get me into what I consider my life's work, and that is through coaching and public speaking. So I started my business, already building a business for my TED Talk. And we have a speech rating. We have some good things coming up, working in the background. And I'm truly, truly excited for this opportunity, because I know and I believe that there's a lot that I have to offer the world. And starting with myself, my family, right? And then beyond that, anyone and everyone else that is within my surrounding. So I have a great deal of a gift that I feel like I can offer the world, but also empowering other individuals, groups, and family to find this within themselves, And my goal is to share this message of hope, of peace, of prosperity, of love without any degree of projection. Rather, my goal is through invitation and allow the individual to sit on them for themselves and understand who they are truly within.
Oh, I'm so glad we found one another.
Me too.
I'm so glad because you want to win, of course, but you want others to win as well. And that's the message of paying it forward. Thank you for being who you are. Please don't change unless it's for the better. Don't you change unless it's for the better. I have had such an awesome time chatting with you. One more time, if persons are in the DMV area, how can they get in contact with you about your amazing studio? And one more time, how can we purchase that amazing book, The Inner Light?
Well, if you're in the DMV, Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, the best place to go to crowndancestudio.com. Okay. You can also find me on IG, abraham.crown.dance. And then when you go to Amazon, just type in my name, Abraham Sannoh, or The Inner Light. It will come up. You can also go to my website, abrahamsannoh.com. There are so many different ways that people can reach me. And one thing that I did actually for the audience to know, that at the end of my book, there is a letter. And I'm just going to spoiler alert. Pay attention. Hold on. I made this bold move to put my contact information in the book because I wanted people to read this book and be able to know that they can connect with the author in a way that maybe they don't connect with other authors. And ever since this, I have had people actually reach out to me who bought the book and made it to the end and talk about the book with me. So it's been amazing.
I love it. He's so personable, y'all. He really is. I love it. He's so personal. So easy to talk to. You really, really are. And also, too, again, thank you for being the light in a dreary land that we see, especially in 2023.
Is your Louisiana girl Denise Boutte coming at you on the Michael Finkley Show. And you guys may know me from Why Did I Get Married as the really sweet girl Trina, or maybe meet Browns as Sasha. But I'm coming at you guys from the great state of California, but originally from Louisiana, because I can't lose that Southern girl, baby. All right, you guys stay tuned to Michael Finkley.
CTR Media Network is now accepting new podcasters to join our growing network that's reaching 350 million global listeners. Have you heard? CTR Media Network offers podcast production, podcast training, distribution, and product placement. Book us for your next event or schedule an interview with CTR Media Network podcasters today. To learn more, go to ctrmedianetwork.com.
I gotta tell you that all of us in our life at some point in time gotta take what we thought we knew, what we thought we learned, and just be able to be a student again. Be a student of life, be a student of ourselves, and be a student of what we want to become, because a lot of times we get stuck on what we taught. We get stuck on how we raised, and we think that how we raised and what we was taught may be the right way to go and may be how it's supposed to be, but that's not true. So I want you to take everything that you think you know and come to an agreement with yourself and say, I don't know anything right now. I just want to be a student. I just want to learn. And the moment that I became a student, the moment that I learned things, is the moment that I grew and I became better in myself, because I knew that, man, my parents may have taught me this, or people who I was around may have taught me this, but Now that I'm older, this just don't seem right. This don't seem true. This don't seem like how it's supposed to be, right? And even if it worked for them, that don't mean it worked for me. Because I have my own life and you have your own life. You have your own philosophy that you have to get. So in life, you need to be able to know that they taught me something that don't fit what I'm trying to go to or what I'm trying to go towards. That fit their life. I don't want bigger and better things. So when somebody who's trying to teach you something, make sure that if you're going to at least take on that habit, take on that thinking, make sure it fits your lifestyle. Make sure it's going to allow you to be where you want to be if you take those steps towards learning that. And so for you, you have to sit down and learn you. What works for you? How can you get better? In what ways? Because what worked for me may not work for you. You feel me? What worked for them may not work for me. So I need to understand where I'm trying to go in life, the person I'm trying to become, what I'm trying to build. And then let me study that. And let me study that and put that into practice. And when you study that and put that into practice, now you have built a foundation. Now you have built your character. Now you have built your philosophy. Now you have built on this thing that you can stand on now, your morals, your beliefs. And now when you build on that character, your morals and beliefs, you have a direction to walk in towards where you're trying to go. So don't always be stuck on what somebody taught you and what you were raised up on. Always be that I'm a student. I am an empty cup, and I don't mind being filled up by things that's going to help me become my best self.
Hey, this is Nelson Estevez, aka Alonzo from Tyler Perry's The Oval, and you're now watching the Michael Finkley Show.
Hey Think fam, it's your favorite host Michael Finkley, and you can listen to us on CTR Media Network. Go listen in.